Nowadays in the modern era, everybody is knowing that without the knowledge of computers in any of the subjects, it is very difficult to understand and make mastery of any subjects. And for this reason, the basics of computer is a subject which is to be taken up for understanding bioinformatics, biomedical and whatever the subjects we can say. And it is not needed to say what is computer. Nowadays we understand that at this time, at this juncture of time, everybody is having idea and experience about the computers, and we all are aware that it is an electronics device that process, stores the data, it performs various tasks as per the need, and we are aware and we had seen in the recent past that with the computer and computer programming and their exact nature of calculations, we are able to send our Chandrayaan 3, Mangalyaan in the past years, and likewise many amazing works are being done. In case of bioinformatics, we are also looking upon how we are going to make sequences, genetic and all other sequences, understanding the numerous data. That is why the knowledge of computer is very essential, and some of the basics of the computer will be taken up in this regard. And we all are aware that various components, various important components are there of computer. Most important is CPU, central processing unit, and it is also known as the brain of computer. All the processes as per the programs, as per the rules, it is being conducted by the CPU. Whenever the CPU is working, then we have to have memories. Numerous number of data are to be processed by the CPU, and here we find that we are having two types of memories. One is random access memory or RAM, and also ROM is there. ROM is the memory which is with the CPU, whereas RAM, random access memory, is temporary in nature, a platform we can understand, and from where that data is taken up and after computation temporarily stored over there. Similarly, whenever these computer programs are to be run, we have to have some storage of the data, input data, as well as storage of the results, and for this we are having hard disk drives and solid state devices, SSDs. In the technology nowadays we had gone for SSDs, where the data can be stored for very long time. Computer is having three components. One is input device, another is processing, and third one is output device. Input devices like keyboard, mouse and touch screens, all these are things which we are well aware and having experience of, many of us. By this input devices we are giving the command, we are giving the program to the computer, and after processing by the CPU, output devices are there where we can explore this output data. And we are all aware that monitors, printers and speakers, whatever the way of output is there, that can be taken up as output devices. The basic CPU, whatever we are talking, is basically performing all the programs and instructions. It is in the form of motherboard, where it has very integrated circuit, and where many instruments are there, devices are there which performs computation and whatever we are instructing to the computer. Second point we can come up as software and hardware. Software is somewhat outside of the computer, and hardware is all the components of the computers which we had already discussed input, output, CPU, motherboard. Likewise, many components are there which are there inside the computer, which are making computer to work. And now softwares also nowadays we are having some idea about it, that software is for a specific purposes, and software may also have operating systems. A computer needs softwares, what to do and how to do. These two questions are solved by the software. Specific purposes are there, and operating system softwares are there like Windows and Linux, web browser, word processor, and many games and their processors. We come to know about the data and informations. So, data, you know that nowadays it is the days of information technology, and transfer of data and processing of data is very important, and the capabilities of the computers are based on how much big data we can store. Technologies are also developed accordingly, and this informations after processing as per the need, it can be disseminated to our desired places. These computers are working on the binary system. Binary system, you know that it is the fundamental language we can say which a computer understands. It is 0 and 1. So, all the logical, numerical, all the values are being presented in the form of 0 and 1, and by processing of 0 and 1, the results are also in the form of 0 and 1. It is translated to the particular required output format, and for this input, output, and particularly processing of the data as per the desired target, programming is another component which is very flexible. As per our need, we can write our programs to the computer to perform a specific job, and this computer can understand and perform the specific task according to our programming. Common programming languages which is useful, which is understandable by computer is Python, Java, C++, JavaScript, and many more. Nowadays it is under development. In the computer, basics of computer we are using nowadays, it is the days of internet and networking. The information from one place is being shared to the other places through the computer network, and even nowadays internet is having enormous information and knowledge which we can access from any point of the world if we are connected with the internet. So, it is a very big internet, and it is working on the principle of networking. So, communication, data sharing, knowledge sharing, all the things are being done, and all the departments of every sectors of the life, whether it is economic, whether it is technology, whether it is health, whatever it is, we need this information and data sharing. That is, internet is making our life easy, and all the information with our computers are available with us. Types of computer also we will be looking in details under this subject. So, we all are aware PCs are name given by the utility of the computers. It is owned by some person, so it is a personal computer, and it is for limited use. However, nowadays personal computers are having very high end capacity, it is also available. Servers are there where we can make connections of many computers, and servers information software, big softwares can be used by many computers. So, that is the servers. And in the third category, supercomputers are there, when millions of trillions data are to be processed at the same time. It is to be looked upon, it is to be gathered, and it is to be processed. Then we need these supercomputers. These supercomputers are extremely powerful machine with complex scientific and engineering calculations capabilities. whenever we have all this utility of computers, the security and privacy of our data information is very important, and nowadays cyber security is a specific subject where we are going to study and know about what are the viruses, malwares, and how the computers are hacking, how to protect our computer and data from all these hackings and all those things. So, it is internationally also, educationally also, it is very essential to protect and understand the security and privacy. Evolution of computers, whenever we come to this portion, we can have an understanding how the computation and their capacity has started with very big machines which were wired, and how it has now been converted into very small chips. Very handy example is smartphones. So, whatever the functions we can perform by the smartphones, it is also a type of computer, and that is how the journey of computer has started within last 50-60 years, and how it has come to the present phases with the enormous capacities. And also we will cover this under this basics of computer, what are the ethical and environmental considerations when we are using the computers, what is our responsibilities, how ethically we should be performing it, and this understanding makes the user of computers to use it for the right purpose, to share the data and information with the right people only. So that it cannot make any non-ethical work, and also could not put any in danger on the very sensitive and confidential data. So, this is all which will be covered under this basics of computers, and further detailing will be done by Dr. Kshitij Kumar Verma. He will be taking all these aspects in more details to make you very much understanding of the computers at present state, their capacity, what they are, and how we can use it for understanding and reading and study of bioinformatics and all other subjects.
I welcome you the MOOCs course on basics of computers module. In this module, we are going to cover introduction to computer, in which we will see history and development of computers, second generations of computers, classification of computers, that is analog computers, digital computers, mainframe computers, microcomputers. Fourth one, fundamentals of logical concepts. Fifth one, digital computers. Sixth, computer coding. Now, introduction to computer. The word computer comes from the word compute, which means that to calculate. People usually use a computer to be a calculating device that can perform arithmetic operations at higher speed. More accurately, we can say that computer is a device that operates upon the data. So, what is the definition of computer? The computer is an electronic device that takes input from the user and process the data under the control of a set of instructions, which is called a program, and gives the results, which is output. It can process both numerical and non-numerical calculations, that is arithmetic and logical. Let us take an example of addition of two numbers. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. 2 and 3 is the input and 5 is the output. Plus is for processing the data. Now, coming to the evaluation of computers. To start with this course, I will come first to evaluation of computer system. Coming to the historical perspective, how computers have evolved over the years. So, whenever there is a need for doing certain things, then only something comes up, like a constant quest of building automatic computing machines have driven the development of computers. So, in the initial efforts, some mechanical devices like pulleys, levers, gears were built. During World War II, mechanical relays were used to perform some kind of computation, like using small relays people design circuits to carry out the operations. Then comes vacuum tubes, using which the first electronic computer called ENIAC was developed. And from then semiconductor transistors were developed. When semiconductor transistors came into picture, then the journey of miniaturization started. First with small scale integration, then people moved with medium scale integration, then large scale integration, then to very large scale integration, and now the era of ultra large scale integration where we stand today. Computers were invented for fast, accurate calculation purposes. The first mechanical calculator, as mentioned in the figure, that was invented by B. Pascal in 1642. So, this particular calculator can only add two numbers, or it can only subtract two numbers, and if you wanted to do multiplication and division, it could have been done by repeated addition or repeated subtractions. After that, in the year 1671, Baron Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz of Germany invented the first calculator for multiplication. Keyboard machines originated states around 1880 and we use them even today. Around the same period, Hermann Hollerith came up with concept of punched cards that were extensively used as input medium in computers even in late 1970s. Machines and calculators made their appearance in Europe and America towards the end of the century. Then the Babbage engine came. This was the first automatic computing engine designed by father of computer Charles Babbage in 19th century, but he could not build that, only he designed that. That is, after 153 years after its design, it was built and it consists of 8,000 parts and it weighed in tons and it was 11 feet in length. So, we can imagine how large it is. The first electronic computer was built, which is called ENIAC, that means electrical numerical integrated and calculator. It was developed by University of Pennsylvania and it uses 18,000 vacuum tubes and weighed 30 tons, and it also occupied a very large space, which is 30 feet cross 50 feet. So, what is the vacuum tube? Vacuum tube is a device that controls electric current between electrodes in an evacuated container in a tube. So, using those vacuum tubes, the first computer ENIAC was built. It also dissipated a huge amount of heat. Next was Harvard Mark I. This was built at the University of Harvard in 1944 with support from IBM, and it uses mechanical relays, and of course, some electric signals were also used to work with the relays to represent the data, and it also weighed 35 tons and required 500 miles of wiring. So, these are the computers which were built in the early stages. Then comes in 60s and 70s, where the popular mainframe computer came into picture. So, this popular computer IBM System 360 was introduced. It introduces many advanced architectural concepts that we use today, but you can see from the picture that how big it was. But as I said, some of the architectural aspects or concepts that were used in that computer appeared in today's microprocessor several decades later. Now, we stand where the modern processor chips come in dual core, quad core and also in 6 core variants. So, we can see that how many core today's computer has, where each core is a 64-bit processor that comes with various microarchitectures. These are the various microarchitectures within an i7, where they are called Haskell, Haswell, Nehalem, Sandy Bridge, etc. Now coming to the generations of computers. Broadly, we can classify the growth of computer, how computer has evolved in some generations. So these actually represent some features of operating system and representative machines. Computers can be divided in 5 generations depending upon the technologies used. These are first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation. Now coming to the first generation. Between the years 1945 to 54, vacuum tubes and relays were used, and the representative system uses machine language. So if you want to enter some data into the computer for processing, you have to enter in machine language or either in assembly language. No high level language was used to enter the data. The memory of these computers used electromagnetic relays, and all data and instructions were fed into the system from punched cards. The instructions were written in machine and assembly languages because high level programming languages were introduced much later. Since machines and assembly languages are very difficult to work with, only a few specialists understood how to program these early computers. Features of first generation computers are as fastest calculating devices of their time, bulky in size, requiring large rooms for installations. Thousands of vacuum tubes was used so that they emitted large amount of heat and burned out frequently. Hence, the rooms areas in which these computers were located had to be properly air conditioned. Since these computers were difficult to program and use, they had limited commercial use. Now coming to the second generations, where transistors, memories, input-output processors are the main technologies. Here batch processing is performed and you could enter the data in high level language. John Bardeen, William Shockley and Walter Burton invented a new electronic switching device called transistors at Bell Laboratories in 1947. Transistors soon proved to be a better electronic switching device than vacuum tubes. The first generation computers were mainly used for scientific computations. However, the second generation computers were increasingly used in business and industry for commercial data processing applications like payroll, inventory control, marketing and production planning. Some good features of second generation computers are: it is more than 10 times faster than the first generation computers, smaller than first generation computers and require smaller space, consumed less power and dissipated less heat than the first generation computers, more reliable and less prone to hardware failures than the first generation computers. In these computers, thousands of individual transistors had to be assembled manually by hand into electronic circuits, making commercial production of these computers difficult and costly. Now coming to the third generation, the era was 1964 to 1975, where we were into semiconductor industries where small scale integration and medium scale integration circuit were used, and that IBM 360, Intel 8008 were the first one to make the step into this computer market. Initially, the integrated circuits contained only about 10 to 20 components. This technology was named small scale integration SSI. Later, with the advancement in technology for manufacturing ICs, it became possible to integrate up to about components on a single chip. This technology came to be known as medium scale integration. Computers built using integrated circuits characterized the third generation. Some features of third generations are more powerful than second generation computers and capable of performing about 1 million instructions per second. smaller than second generation computers, requiring smaller space, consumed less power and dissipated less heat than second generation computers. The rooms areas in which third generation computers were located still required to be properly air conditioned. They were more reliable and less prone to hardware failures than second generation computers, requiring lower maintenance cost. They had faster and larger primary and secondary storage as compared to second generation computers. They were general purpose machines suitable for both scientific and commercial applications. Mini computers of third generation made computers affordable even by smaller companies. Now coming to the fourth generation. During fourth generation, semiconductor memories replaced magnetic core memories, resulting in large random access memory with very fast access time. On the other hand, hard disks became cheaper, smaller and larger in capacity. In addition to magnetic tapes, floppy disks became very popular as a portable medium for porting programs and data from one computer system to another computer system. Another significant development during fourth generation period was spread of high speed computer networking, enabling interconnection of multiple computers to enable them to communicate and share data. Local area networks became popular for connecting computers within an organization or within a campus. Similarly, wide area networks became popular for connecting. Now coming to the fifth generation computers. The trend of further miniaturizations of electronic components, dramatic increase in power of microprocessor chips and increase in capacity of main memory and hard disk continued during with fifth generation. VLSI technology came ULSI technology in fifth generation, resulting in production of microprocessor chips having 10 million electronic components. During fifth generation, there was tremendous outgrowth of computer networks. Communication technologies became faster day by day and more computers were networked together. Now coming to the classification of computers. The computers are classified into different categories according to their purposes, sizes and data handling. The computer comes in variety of sizes and shapes according to their uses and applications with varying processing capabilities. In the early days, computer sizes were as large as building rooms and the processing speed was relatively slower. As technology advances, the size of the computer drastically decreases with the advent of microprocessor technology, and the processing speed was also increased. Classifications of computer based on the purpose. A computer is broadly classified into two categories according to their purpose: general purpose computer and specific purpose computer. Classification of computer based on data handling, that is, the computer is further classified into these three categories according to their data handling capabilities or how they process the input data in different manner. They are digital computer, analog computer, hybrid computer. Classification of computer based on their functionality and sizes. The computer is divided into four categories based on their physical sizes, functionality and application. They are supercomputer, mainframe computer, mini computer, microcomputer. Desktop computer. A desktop computer, or more popularly known as a PC, that is called personal computer, is most commonly used microcomputer. It consists of a CPU, central processing unit, keyboard and mouse as input units, monitor or display unit as an output device. The CPU consists of microprocessor, main memory, secondary storage unit like hard drive, optical drive, power supply unit that is housed in a single cabinet. Some of the major desktop computer manufacturers are IBM, Apple, Dell and Hewlett Packard, which is called HP. Portable computer. Other than desktop computers, portable computers like laptops and PDAs have become more favorite among individuals. The best part of this portable computer is that it can be easily carried out along by an individual. Laptops too consist of all components as the desktop computer constitutes, but they are more compact and smaller in size. Portable digital assistant. It is a portable computer which is in the size of the palm. It is also called a palm-top computer. The PDAs are used to organize schedules, take important notes, set reminders, do mathematical calculations, play games, and even surf the internet and send emails. Apple launched the first PDA called Newton in 1993. The other most commonly used PDAs are Palm Pilot, Handspring Visor, HP Jordana, Compaq Aero, Franklin eBookman, etc. Nowadays, PDAs are replaced by smartphones. Smartphones are handheld devices that combine the features of PDAs and cell phones. Smartphones are the popular handheld device among the individuals and are used to store information, perform mathematical calculation, surf internet and email, and is used for voice calling. However, the features of some smartphones are more oriented towards cell phones. The features of PDAs are add-on facilities in smartphones. Digital computers. The block diagram of a computer which is shown in the picture. The basic components of computers are input unit, output unit, memory, public storage unit, arithmetic logic unit, control unit, central processing unit. These are shown in the figure. A computer can process data, pictures, sound and graphics. They can solve highly complicated problems quickly and accurately. The input units. Computers need to receive data and instruction in order to solve any problem. Therefore, we need to input the data and instructions into the computers. The input unit consists of one or more input devices. Keyboard is the one of the most commonly used input devices. Other commonly used input devices are the mouse, floppy disk drive, magnetic tape, etc. All the input devices perform the following functions: accept the data and instructions from the outside world, convert it into a form that the computer can understand, supply the converted data to the computer system for further processing. Now coming to the storage unit. The storage unit of the computer holds data and instructions that are entered through the input unit before they are processed. It preserves the intermediate and final results before these are sent to the output devices. It also saves the data for the later use. The various storage devices of a computer system are divided into two categories. Primary storage, store and provides very fast. This memory is generally used to hold the program being currently executed in the computer, the data being received from the input unit, the intermediate and final results of the program. The primary memory is temporary in nature. The data is lost when the computer is switched off. In order to store the data permanently, the data has to be transferred to the secondary memory. The cost of the primary storage is more compared to the secondary storage. Therefore, most computers have limited primary storage capacity. Secondary storage. Secondary storage is used like an archive. It stores several programs, documents, databases, etc. The programs that you run on the computer are first transferred to the primary memory before it is actually run. Whenever the results are saved, again they get stored in the secondary memory. The secondary memory is slower and cheaper than the primary memory. Some of the commonly used secondary memory devices are hard disks, CDs, etc. Memory size. All digital computers use the binary system, that is zeros and ones. Each character or a number is represented by an 8-bit code. The set of 8 bits is called a byte. A character occupies 1 byte space. A numeric offering occupies 2 byte space. Byte is the space occupied in the memory. The size of the primary storage is specified in KB or MB, megabyte. 1 KB is equal to 1024 bytes and 1 MB is equal to 1000 KB. The size of the primary storage in a typical PC usually starts at 16 MB. PCs having 32 MB, 48 MB, 128 MB memory are quite common. The output unit. The output unit of a computer provides the information and results of a computation to outside world. Printers, visual display unit are the commonly used output devices. Other commonly used output devices are floppy disk drive, hard disk drive and magnetic tape drive. Arithmetic logic unit. All calculations are performed in the arithmetic logic unit, that is called ALU of the computer. It also does comparison and takes decision. Control unit. It controls all other units in the computer. Central processing unit. The control unit and ALU of the computer and together known as the central processing unit, that is called also CPU. Now coming to the computer coding, the introduction. While the basic memory unit in digital computer is the bit holding a value of 1 or 0 or equivalently on or off, most information of interest to the user requires more than a simple bi-valued representation. In modern computers, the most basic group consists of 8 bits called the byte. Most computers implement grouping of 2 bytes, 4 bytes and 8 bytes. Now coming to the number system. Number system is used to represent information in quantitative form. Some of the common number system are binary, octal, decimal and hexadecimal. A number system of base, also called a radix, R, is a system which has all distinct symbols for all digits. A string of these symbolic digits represent a number. In the next lecture, we will discuss about languages and flow charts and operating systems, input and output devices, memory and operating system. Thank you.